Good evening and welcome to our next episode of Cooking with Michael. First, as always, want to thank everyone who tuned into last week's episode, as well as those of you who watched our short that we did in the middle of the week. We did get a lot of views. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. And of course, those of you who have gone back and looked at our previous episodes, thank you so much for doing that. As we always say, the more views, the more likes, the more comments, the more subscriptions, the more we show up on people's feeds, which will, of course, will allow more people to see it and then join in and watch. So we're really excited about it. Love doing this. And again, thank you all for tuning in tonight, as well as our continued support and watching the show ongoing. Tonight, nothing different. An exciting date night dinner. I know we say it every week. This one is a little bit different. Again, I know we say it every week. But this one's different because it's a recipe that I actually created myself 100%. This is nothing that I have pulled from other recipes. This is nothing that I tweaked, nothing that I grew up on. This is something that a few days ago, we were sitting around kind of talking about the show, some different things, talking with our producer, Melissa. What can we do to kind of do some things different? And we decided that, to make something different. And this one I think is really exciting. So I have to be honest, I did try this dish off camera a couple days ago when I came up with it. We loved it, and so we decided to share it with you tonight. There really is no name to it. We can call it seafood, rice, tomato, something. I don't know. There's really no name to it. So if you guys have a suggestion for a name, please feel free to put it out there. Love to hear from you. But anyway, we're going to show you how to do it. It's a fantastic dish. It's a great dish. We really liked it. I'm really excited about it. So we're going to show you how to do that in just a second. But real quick, as always, a couple shout outs. Aztec Creations for our logo and design. For, again, of course, the Cooking with Michael apron, as well as the pot holders and whatnot. And of course, to my wine guy, Andrew, for the Pinot Grigio, because again, we're paying homage back to the Pinot Grigio. Andrew, a wine guy from Chapel Beer and Wine, who always makes sure we're taken care of and have enough Pinot Grigio to have a great date night. So with that said, we're going to show you what we do and show you how we make this fantastic dinner. I'm going to take a quick drink of my Pinot Grigio. God, I love that stuff. And then we'll get going. So sit back, let's get this started, and let's have a lot of fun tonight. Thanks for watching, and let's get this party started. All right, and you can see the ingredients we're going to use: shrimp, celery, onion, rice, green peppers, canned tomatoes, olive oil, the Pinot Grigio, several spices including salt, sugar, some other things like that. So we'll show you how it all comes together and make a great, great dinner. All right, and we're back. So you just saw the ingredients we're going to be using. It's real simple. It's green pepper. You want to use either 2 small to medium green peppers or 1 very large green pepper. You want to use celery. Just 1 stalk of that celery is fine. Half an onion. When you do the onion, you want to peel off the outer layer of skin. Usually get that brown layer on an onion, but at least peel off the outer layer of the most outer layer of the skin of the onion, and then chop it and dice it finely, and then cut the green peppers up finely and the celery up finely. So I usually, if you've watched my episodes before, thank you. I usually use my food processor. In this case, I just chopped using a knife and a cutting board. It was a little bit easier to chop up real fine, but still have nice pieces there to be able to cook. So use that. In a future episode, we're going to do a short on kind of how to chop the vegetables and things like that to help people, especially those of you who have never cooked before, some quick, easy tips on chopping without cutting your fingers off, because you certainly can do that if you're using a knife and a cutting board. So, but anyway, so we got that going. We also have the rice going. You saw we're using rice. We're going to do basically just 2 cups of rice, which is actually, as we always talk about, 2 cups of water, 1 cup of dried rice. You boil it until the water completely boils away, about a half an hour, and that yields 2 cups of rice, cooked rice, and that's what we're going to use for this. That's already started. I've already chopped up the vegetables. And so now what I'm going to do is show you kind of the next steps. So here we go. All right. There we are. So what we're going to do first, we've got our rice here cooking. Okay. As you can see, just so you can see the rice there is just starting to get ready to boil. When it does boil, turn down to simmer and let it do its thing for about a half an hour. I'm going to take my Pinot Grigio. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my olive oil. And if you've watched before, I love using the olive oil. I got the olive oil at, you know, we can't do a show without mentioning it. Aldi. Okay, so we're going to use the Aldi olive oil. And I'm basically going to just coat the bottom. Oh my God, I'm almost out of olive oil. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up another thing of olive oil. All right, so I'm going to basically coat the bottom of the pan with the olive oil. Now, you know me, I don't measure a whole lot, so I'm not going to do a lot of measuring on this. So what it is just, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to turn this on. Actually, let me turn this down now to simmer, because you can see it's starting to boil. So we're going to turn down the rice, let it simmer for 30 minutes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my oven here and let this heat up. You know, medium to medium high, and let that heat up and let the oil get nice and warm. Okay? Move it around there. Again, as you know, olive oil will, of course, get thin as it cooks. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to let that do its thing. I'm going to pause us, and then when it's ready, I'll come right back. All right, and so now the oil is pretty much heating up enough. You can actually hear it popping, so I don't have to do our typical testing. I swear I've only had a little bit of Pinot Grigio. Since the oil's popping, we're going to go ahead and take the mixture, again, the celery, green pepper, and onion mixture, and we're going to put it in there. Just going to basically put it all in there, okay? Now what you're going to do is you are going to, put that in the sink, you are going to basically stir this. You can turn it down a little bit now that the oil is heated. You're going to stir this until the vegetables are cooked. And you basically want them soft, okay? Maybe a little bit brown, not burnt. And as we always say, don't walk away from this, because if you walk away, it will burn, and it changes the flavor and dynamic of what you're trying to do. So we're just going to keep doing this over and over and over again. This part does take, I'll be honest, this one takes about 7 or 8 minutes, maybe 10, depending on how much vegetable you have in here, to get it nice and cooked all the way through. You want to try and keep it, or get it to the point where it's not crunchy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep stirring this until it's done. And you can even put the lid on it a little bit, let it do its thing, and then keep coming back and stirring again for, you know, about 8 to 10 minutes. But you can see it is cooking. It is starting to get a little soft. And again, I always say if I had smell camera, you could actually smell the flavor of the vegetables, the peppers, the onions, and the celery all mixing together. And it is just such a wonderful smell. But again, you don't want to burn them, so you got to make sure you keep stirring. And then put the lid back on, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then keep stirring, and we'll just keep doing that. All right. And while this is cooking, you can actually kind of kill two birds with one stone. So while this is cooking, we'll stir this up a little more. We're going to also get the shrimp ready, which is what we're going to put in here. We're going to put in about a pound of shrimp or so. So again, I went to my butcher or my fishmonger today, as I always do. Got some fresh shrimp, uncooked, because I just really like the way that is. So we're going to take this, and we're going to put this back a little bit. There we go. So what we're going to do is now, with the shrimp, I'm just going to take a little bit of the spray oil, you know, a spray that I got at, say with me, everyone together, Aldi. That's right, Aldi, Aldi, Aldi. Okay, so, got that. I'm just going to spray a little bit on there, okay? And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for the most part, saute the shrimp just long enough until they're cooked. So I'll turn that on until it gets nice and warm, and then I'll put the shrimp in there, get them nice and cooked. Almost cooked, because you got to finish it up over here in the dish. But, you know, and actually we're going to take a quick second here. So you can actually do a couple of different things. I tried it a couple days ago when I first did this. I tried it with scallops, which are really, really good. You saute the scallops to keep them the texture from being real mushy. You can try it with shrimp. You can do it with fish slices, typically a white type of fish. A sea bass would work well. A pollock would work well. A whiting, something like that. And you would cook it. Usually saute it on the stove, slice it into slices, and put it in here as well. So really, anything's going to work because it's going to mix with the flavor of the tomatoes that we're going to put in here in a minute and whatnot. So but we're going to use shrimp tonight. But again, you can use a bunch of different things as your add-in for it. Okay, so we're going to go back to here, and I'm going to stir this a little more. You can see it's coming along just nicely. Again, no burning. You can hear it sizzling, which is great. Just keep stirring it. That oil is going to obviously keep it from burning, but it's also going to add just a little bit of a flavor to it. So we'll do that. Now that I stirred that, what I'm going to do now is we're going to get ready for the shrimp. All right, so we're going to take the shrimp, and I'm pretty much just going to put them right into the pan and let it go to work. Okay, and again, you'll know the shrimp is done when you see it nice and pink. You can see it's already curled up a little bit. You can see it nice and pink. You can put a cover over it, which I will in a minute, and get it moving a little quicker, or you can leave it that way. But again, let's turn it up just a little bit. But keep stirring that, and try not to overcook the shrimp. All right. So as we do this, we're going to keep stirring it. You can see it's actually getting done, so we're going to turn this down just a little bit. Now comes the fun part, as if this isn't fun already. Now comes the fun part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 cans of diced tomatoes. Again, the Aldi Special. Where are they? There we go. The Aldi Special. Okay, and I'm going to put 2 cans of diced tomatoes in there. Now, very, very important. Diced tomatoes come in a lot of different ways. They come pre-seasoned. They come roasted. They come a lot of different ways. I'm suggesting because I've tried it a couple different ways while practicing for this episode and rehearsing for this episode. You want to use just the regular unflavored diced tomatoes, not roasted, not pre-seasoned, anything like that, because you're going to put seasonings in this. So, anyway, so what we're doing is we mix that together. And we're going to let it cook, obviously, but what we do is mix it together, okay? And then we're going to add our spices. We're going to take Italian seasoning from, where do we get it from? I'll let you say it. Where do we get it from? That's right, Aldi. So I'm going to take this, and again, I'm just going to spread some around in there, okay? Shake it in there, and we're going to mix that up. Then I'm going to get that nice and mixed. Then I'm going to take a little bit of sea salt from my sea salt grinder. Okay. I'm going to just put just a little bit in there. Again, we always talk about know your audience. If you need to salt more afterwards, that's fine. You're doing a little bit now for taste, but you want to make sure if your audience, people that you're feeding, your loved one, your spouse, your date night can't have salt, do very little, and then you can always add some to your own if you'd like to. So then I'm going to take my sugar. Now, I have sugar in a special container because it tends to leak out of the bag when we open up the bag. I swear this is not cocaine. No, just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's not. But anyway, I'm going to take just a pinch of sugar and just put a little pinch of sugar in there, okay? Just a little bit of sugar in there. Then what I'm going to do, and this is really important. I found this out. Start this up here. I found this out while I was preparing this recipe and rehearsing for this earlier on. We want to do some cayenne pepper. Okay. Again, Aldi cayenne pepper. And we want to do not a ton. You don't want it real spicy, but you want to put some in there. And what I found is the cayenne pepper actually draws out the other flavors. It draws out the sweetness of the Italian seasoning. It draws out the sugar a little bit. And but again, it doesn't overpower anything. We talk about this all the time. I'll say it again. It is a symphony, not a solo. So this will actually draw the flavors out and make it a little bit more tasty. Have a little bit of spiciness to it. But again, not overpowering, which is what we don't want to do. We don't want to overpower. We want to draw those flavors together. So we're going to turn this down to low, and we're going to let it simmer, okay? And we'll simmer that for just a couple of minutes. And the reason we're going to simmer it for a couple of minutes is we're going to wait till the rice is completely done, and then we will put the rice in there, and then we'll put the shrimp on top of it. So we're going to pause. I'm going to drink some Pinot Grigio, and we'll be back in a second, and we'll finish this up. All right, we're back. Real quick, we have our helper dog Phoebe is here. She actually helped me chop up some of the green peppers. Actually, she ate some of the green peppers, but that's okay. Anyway, while that's simmering, the shrimp is cooking still. We're going to take the rice here in just a second, put it in there. And then we're going to put the shrimp in, and then we're going to taste it, and we'll go from there. So let me show you how we're going to do this. Real simple. Move that down some. You can see the shrimp is still cooking. Anyway, I'm going to take the rice off of there. Okay. And I'm going to take my pot holder. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just basically put the rice right in the mixture itself. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. And then after this is done, move this out of the way. Okay. We are then going to stir it up. And you want to stir it till it's a nice, consistent mixture. And you can see I still have it on low, so it's still simmering, which is perfect. Okay, so just mix it all together. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit on simmer for just another couple minutes. And then what I'm going to do is actually, I'll leave it on there. And then when the shrimp is done, we'll put the shrimp in there, and then we'll taste it, and we'll have ourselves a great date night dinner. So we'll be right back when the shrimp is done, and we'll show you what it's all about. All right, and we're back, and the shrimp is just about done. The good thing with fresh shrimp is it only takes a couple minutes to cook. There just have to be a lot of them in there, so it took a little longer. But frozen shrimp will take a little longer. You can do frozen shrimp. It's totally fine. I just happen to like the fresh. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to take the shrimp, and I'm going to just try and not put the water in there, because shrimp will give off a little bit of liquid, of course, when it cooks and when it gets smaller. But anyway, so I'm going to put the shrimp in there. Okay, and almost got the rest of it in there. All right, get in there, you little stinker. All right, I'm going to put this in the sink, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stir it all together. So that's it. You can see how it looks. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my plate. Okay, I'm going to grab a ladle full of shrimp and rice and vegetables and all the goodness. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, actually, let me turn this off. Move this back here so it doesn't keep cooking. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste it. So let me grab a fork. Actually, let me grab my Pinot Grigio first. My Pinot Grigio. And just so you know, I think I have a little one who is supposed to be in bed, by the way, so we can have our date night. I think he's making his way down the steps. So I think he's somewhere there, but we're going to ignore him. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and taste this. So I'm going to take this, take my shrimp, and and it's perfect. Actually, it's turned out, it's the third time I tried this, so third time is a charm. Why not? We'll have another bite of it. It is hot. Oh no, it just came out of the pot. I do this every single week. It just came out of from being done, but So that's it. Real easy. Perfect date night dinner. Easy, quick, didn't take very long. The whole thing probably took maybe about a half an hour to 40 minutes to cook. It really depends on how long it takes the rice to cook and how long it takes to soften the vegetables when you do it in the skillet. So with that, real simple, real easy, great date night dinner. And now I have time to drink some Pinot Grigio, of course, and spend time with my loved one, my date night, my spouse, who is upstairs finishing putting the boys to bed. Come down, we'll have some dinner, and we'll catch up and talk and spend some time together, which is what these are all about. So, cooking easy, cooking fun, cooking inexpensive, but a fantastic dish. And I hope you try it. I hope you love it. Let me know what you think. Comments, subscribe, share, watch. If you know others who, of course, who will benefit from it or will like it, please share it with them as well. Again, the more subscribers, the more likes, the more watches, the more views we get, the more it shows up on my on other people's feeds, and we can do more and more of these episodes. So I want to thank everyone who's been watching. Welcome to our new subscribers, our new watchers. Please keep watching. Please keep being a part of this. We love doing it every week. I hope you try it. I hope you love it. And of course, as always, we will see you next week for our next episode every Saturday, 8 p.m. on Cooking with Michael. Have a great night, and good night, everyone.